Man, do I feel old right now. All right, hard to believe it was 15 years ago that a group of freshmen from the University of Michigan shocked the world. Michigan's Fab Five, with its unexpected run to the NCAA tournament final, changed the game. Their baggy shorts alone a trademark. And while the team lost in the title game to Duke in that year, 92, and to North Carolina in 93, the members of that squad will forever be linked to the heart of March Madness. Joining us now, one of the Fab Five, former Wolverine guard Jalen Rose. And Jalen, before we talk college hoops, we've got to talk to you about last night's NBA game. You had a great seat for that Phoenix Suns-Mavs matchup, a little bit of March Madness of your own. What was it like afterwards in the locker room? What were guys talking about? Because this was a big win for your team.
Like a playoff atmosphere, Dana. It was a big-time game, a double overtime game. The stars of the stars really stepped up. Dirk Nowitzki had a great game for their team. Jason Terry, Jerry Stackhouse had over 30 points. Obviously, the two-time MVP, Steve Nash, with big shots, great assists. Amari Stoudemire was amazing down low. Sean Marion did all the intangibles. I mean, there was so many things into that game to get excited about. Big plays, missed free throws, all kinds of things that could happen. Did happen if you were a Dallas Mavericks, and in our locker room we were excited afterwards, definitely.
We had a debate earlier, at least they did in First and 10, about the MVP. Did Steve Nash secure his third MVP?
I think so. At the end of the day, it's all about clutch shots and showing up the most when your team needs you to show up the most. And I think being a two-time MVP, everybody's watching to see, well, can Phoenix go to the next level, where the MVP is actually given to the guy who has the best regular season. I think Steve Nash really cemented that last night. Dirk Nowitzki is an amazing player, and he's probably going to be runner-up to his good friend, but Steve Nash is just taking this game to another level, and he really put our team on his back along with Amari last night. This
is going to take us to college basketball, but there was another debate on First and 10 about whether or not it's pro basketball. You could watch that game last night or all of the first-round games coming up today and tomorrow. Which would you do?
Well, if it's a game like last night, you got to watch last night's game, because at the end of the day, when you talk about the pros, you're talking about the best to do it. Now, the excitement, the thrill, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, it has to go to the NCAA tournament, because everybody's filling out brackets, and every time somebody wins or loses, somebody bracket gets busted.
Yeah, okay, well, if I could have the Fab Five like I did in college, I would take the college games, and that's what I want to talk to you about. You guys were all freshmen that first trip to the NCAA championships. When you look at the freshmen now, Greg Oden, Kevin Durant, how different is it for them than it was for you back then?
I think it's expected of those guys to really take their teams to the next level. When you talk about Texas, you talk about Kevin Durant, he's actually a guy I was running home to last Saturday to go watch play because he's a great player. When you talk Greg Oden, it's the same thing. Those guys are expected to have great tournament runs, kind of like Carmelo Anthony did when he was a member of Syracuse. When we were freshmen in college, it was about really trying to find your niche as a freshman and as a sophomore, and allow the juniors and the seniors to really be the guys to lead the team to victory.
I can't be unbiased when I say this. Leave it to Ohio State to copy Michigan, yet once again they've got the Fab Five. You guys had the Fab Five. How would Fab Five do against the Fab Five?
Well, I really like their team. I really like Mike Conley Jr. as a point guard. He's a left-hand point guard, kind of like myself. But the difference between the Fab Five and everybody else, so let me put any theories to rest, is that we changed the game. Big shorts, black shoes, black socks, and we started 5 freshmen. Now, a lot of coaches will be pulling their hair out in practice to have 5 freshmen starting in practice, let alone in the NCAA tournament game. So Steve Fisher did a great job with that, and we really appreciate him for it.
Yeah, I think still has a full head of hair, too. I don't know how he managed that. You know,
exactly.
Florida's trying to do what you did. You made it back to the title game for the second year in a row. Unfortunately, you didn't win either year. They did the first year, maybe more pressure. Why is it so tough to do that back-to-back final trip?
Because you have a bullseye on your chest, and Joakim Noah and those guys showed that kind of toward the end of the SEC season when they weren't really able to get revved up. They finally pulled it out at the end of the tournament, and now going into the NCAA tournament, they're going to try to ride that momentum. But once you win the NCAA championship, once you become a household name, once you become a team to beat, everybody gears up for you and try to play their best game against you. And being a defending champion like Florida is, everybody's going to do that in this tournament.
All right, I need to know, who's in your Final Four on your bracket sheet?
Michigan, in the NIT Final Four. They're in my bracket. Actually, I'm going to fill my bracket out today. It's hard for me to say Ohio State, but probably Ohio State's going to get there. I really would love to see Memphis and a hometown guy of mine, Chris Robinson Douglas, those guys get to the finals. And Tennessee, I'm a big Bruce Pearl fan, and my JV assistant, Tony Jones, from Detroit Southwestern, is actually coaching on that team. So
Nice.
I got a lot of teams that I'm rooting for, so I'm going to fill out my bracket today and get back to me on that Final Four pick.
Jalen, you got like 15 minutes. I don't mean to hurry you or anything, but 15 minutes, I think, to like the first games tip off.
Well, you know, once you get into the NBA, it becomes kind of tricky when you start filling out those brackets, when you next to guys that are betting big-time money to see who's going to come out of those brackets. You got to make sure up until the last second that no injuries, nobody twisted an ankle yesterday and all of that kind of stuff.
Jalen, it's all for fun. Remember, it's all with all those, just for fun. Just for fun.
Nobody, who has office pools for NCAA brackets? Nobody does.
Yeah, no, we don't do that. You did. You actually did use money in a very generous way. You donated, made a donation actually to Dikembe Mutombo's cause. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Dikembe has a great cause going in his native of Congo, and he's building a 300-room hospital. And Dikembe and I played together for 2 years in Denver. I've seen this process come to fruition, and you know, just being a philanthropist that he is, everybody knows he's a great shot blocker and a great rebounder and a great person. But I think what he's doing is amazing for his hometown, and to be a part of that with the Jalen Rose Foundation, and we do so many things for underserved youth as well. I think that it was the least I could do, and it was one of the best assists I've ever given a teammate.
Jalen, great cause there. Really quickly before we let you go, we asked you this in the break. People out there may want to know. They know where Juwan Howard is, Chris Webber, and you. Where are the other two? Where are Ray and Jimmy from the Fab Five?
Big shout, Ray Jackson. He's in Austin, Texas, coaching his team. I'm going to bring my AAU guys down there to play against you, Ray. And he also has Rise Up, Inc. That's his company. Jimmy King is in Detroit, where he still lives with his lovely wife and his kids. He's working with Merrill Lynch right now, and he's doing radio for Michigan basketball. Let's go Blue. Let's be the 65th best team in the country. Keep Tommy Amaker. Tommy's doing a great job, just like Tubby Smith down in Kentucky. Don't lose a good coach, Ann Arbor. Keep Tommy.
Jalen, I think we got a little Dick Vitale competition coming up for you whenever you say goodbye to the NBA game.
Hey, if I was getting paid the kind of money Dick was to do speeches, then hey, I would be Dick Vitale. And did you see Dick on that Hooters commercial? Oh man. More Viagra, Dick. We need some Viagra for Dick Vitale. Big shout, Dickie V.
Oh boy, Jalen, on that note, I'm going to have to leave, but we are Morning TV. Thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us, and if you want more information.
Thank you. You want to give me some coffee with my cold pizza?
Excellent. If you want more information, by the way, if you want to help support Jalen and Dikembe Mutombo's cause that Jalen was talking about, you can visit jalenrose.com. Coming up here on Cold Pizza, it is tournament madness.